What's up, guys? Good morning. So, quick question: what have you done so far? Have you been productive? Have you been reading books in the morning? Or did you just use Facebook all the time? Or have been watching YouTube videos and such? What did you do? So, anyways, welcome to my journey to entrepreneurship. And today, I want to get into the topic of why we do what we do, about motivation, and I want to tell you guys about passion. So, let's get right into it. Alright guys, so I've been waiting for my sisters to pick them up from school. Yeah, I've been waiting and it's really hard right here. Check it out. I'm using this not to sit on it, but it is sitting on me right now because it is so hard. So anyways, I want to tell you guys about passion and motivation. So yesterday I talked about how to persuade, and I made the video about that, right? I talked about the persuasion tricks, and in that video I talked a little bit about motivation, and I want to get deeper into that, and I want to tell you guys about different motivation types that I understand. So there are two motivation types. Now, to get to your goal, and any goal, what I mean by goal is like in any goal at all, even it is your personal, or whether it be, let it be your passion, or your in business, or workout goals, or life goals, or any goal at all, you can use these, right? These tricks will help you in getting to your goal. Now, when I first learned about that, when I was in high school, I wasn't really a really disciplined person, right? I wasn't disciplined, and I wasn't actually working so hard. I was like, I just want to have fun. I just want to hang out with friends. I just want to play around and joke around and such. So when the teacher was teaching in front, I wasn't actually paying attention. And then after school, we had to go to tuition, and my friends and I went to that tuition. And when I went into the tuition, I sat down on a chair, and then I was talking with my friends. I was joking around, and teacher was about to teach in front. And that day, it was really memorable for me because it has made a really big impact in my life. So he stood up, and then he wrote down SMART, smart, on the whiteboard in front, right? So I was like, okay, well, what, he's writing down smart, so what is that? I asked my friend, and then he was like, I don't know. He didn't know anything at all, and I didn't know anything as well, right? So we asked teacher what that was, and then he was like, I'm going to explain to you very soon, so just pay attention, guys. And then he started to explain what smart was, and it was business tuition. So what he was talking about was smart goals. And smart goals, when he was talking about smart goals, I didn't think that it was that important, and I just thought that it is something that you have to use in business. It is important for business, but it doesn't make any impact in my life, right? That's what I thought. But when I finished high school, and when I finished exams and such, and I was going to college, and then I remembered about that, and I didn't have any passion at that time, and I was quite lost. I didn't know what to do after school. I didn't know what my passion was. I didn't know what I wanted to study. I didn't know what I wanted to become. When adults ask me like, "Oh, what do you want to be when you grow up, son?" And I'll be like, I want to be a businessman. I didn't know what to answer. Sometimes I will answer like, I want to be an engineer. I want to be successful. That's what I wanted, but I didn't actually know what I actually want. So those were the times. But after some time, like after college, not after college, after high school, during college, just before the college ended, I was really lost, and I was really scared because I thought like, oh, after college I have to go to work. I have to make some money right now. I have to go work for somebody else, and I didn't know what to do. I wasn't paying much attention to studies and such. I didn't have passion as well. So I was like, what do I do now? And I was lost at that time. And then I remembered something from that lesson that I learned from high school, right? It's that SMART goal. SMART goal is like, S stands for specific, M stands for measurable, A stands for achievable, R stands for realistic, and T stands for time. So what SMART means is like, this is the SMART goal is a way to actually set your goals so that it is smart and you can actually achieve that. S means specific, right? So when you're setting your goals, it means like you have to be specific about your goals. So your goal has to be one line only. So SMART goal is when you write down a SMART goal, it has to be one line, and that one line has to be specific. You have to be specific about your goal, and also it has to be measurable. Your goal has to be measurable. It has to be like you have to know what is the limit, what is your limit, up to which limit you can get to, and when you get to that limit, then you can measure it, and then you can know that you have reached your goal. So it has to be measurable. And then the third thing is A, right? So the third letter is A, and it is achievable. Your goal also has to be achievable. You can't say something that you cannot achieve in a specific amount of time. So it's like, I'm gonna be the richest person in the world in 3 days. What? Even though it might be your goal, it isn't actually achievable. So it is, so you should so that is the wrong way to set a goal, right? So, and the fourth letter is R, right? So it is realistic, and your goal has to be realistic. That goal that I just told you guys about, like I'm gonna be rich, the richest person in the world in 3 days, it's not realistic, right? So your goal is wrong. And the last alphabet is T, and it is time. And what I mean by time is your goal has to include time. Like, it has to be realistic. So an example of SMART goal is like, I'm gonna raise the sales of my company 12% of the sales. I'm gonna increase 12% revenue in 1 year. So it's like specific, it's also measurable, it's also achievable, and it's realistic, and also it's time specific, right? So those are the 5 attributes that you have to include when you are actually setting your goal. And when you are specific like that, when you have that specific goal, then you are more likely to achieve that goal, rather than saying like, I'm gonna increase revenue this year, right? So this is of great importance, and it will really make a huge difference in setting your goal and actually achieving it. Writing down goals doesn't really make us any different, because when we write down the goals that we actually want, it's not like we are going to achieve it, right? But we feel like we are going to achieve those goals, but it only lasts about 1 week or even 1 month, right? So this is what happens with New Year resolutions. Most people's New Year resolutions, we set resolutions like, oh, this year I'm gonna have a fit body, I'm gonna be rich, I'm never gonna have to ask for money from my parents again and such, right? So those are the goals that we set for New Year resolutions, but it didn't really happen. We have set those goals like last year as well, right? We have set similar goals like last 2 years, last 3 years, and it still isn't happening. And those are because we have not set specific goals, and also because we have not been actually disciplined to do that. So the way that I got disciplined was like, when I was in high school, I wasn't actually studying. I wasn't disciplined. I would study only when I was getting near exams. When I'm getting near exams, I didn't actually have any notebook as well. I wasn't writing notes at all. And then when I got near exams, I would study from the very beginning. Like, I took only 3 or 4 weeks to study the whole subject. I always do that. And of course, I didn't get lots of good marks, but I passed. But it isn't actually a good way to study. But the point is that when I'm near exams, I will study all the time, like for 3 whole weeks, and sometimes I would even get really, really good marks just by studying those 3 weeks. And those 3 weeks are the weeks that I have become absolutely disciplined, right? So before those 3 weeks, I didn't even have a notebook. I wasn't actually disciplined, right? So in order to achieve your goal, you have to be disciplined. And the way that I become disciplined is like, I had the motivation before those 3 weeks, before I got near to the exam, before I got close to the exam. I didn't have motivation because I just wanted to have fun. I didn't have much motivation. But when I got near the exam, I was like, I cannot fail this subject. I cannot fail, because if I fail, then I'm gonna be embarrassed, and people are going to scold at me, my adults are going to scold at me, my parents are going to be disappointed, and those are the pain that I don't want to experience, and I was afraid of those pain. And that is the motivation, guys. So there are two kinds of motivation. The first motivation is the motivation of the vision of the first motivation is the vision of the goal, the vision of your goal. Like, I want to be successful, that is my motivation. I want to be successful. You see, that is the motivation. But that is not actually much motivational or much inspirational for most people. People are not motivated much by the vision of good things, but they are motivated more by the pain points. So you gotta know what your pain points are. Now, for me, I am so motivated, and I'm so passionate in doing this. I'm so passionate in entrepreneurship because I'm afraid, guys. Honestly, I am afraid. I'm scared of not being successful because I've been doing all of these, and I'm scared that if I'm not successful in the future, I'm patient. I'm willing to input lots and lots of effort, and I'm willing to input lots of time, like years and years, to become successful. But I'm afraid not to be successful. So I have that passion and I have that motivation, because when I'm not successful, my parents, we will still have many problems, and I have a big family to support, and I want to make sure that my parents are going to live happily from one happily, and they don't have to worry about anything at all. They can just do whatever they want to be happy. I want them to have that kind of life. So that is my motivation, and it is not because I want to be rich and such. If I can make them happy, and if I can make them if I can get them what they want without money, then I would have done that. But in real world, guys, in reality, we really need money to do all of those. And I'm not going to do all of those. Just I'm going to get money. I'm going to make money, and I don't care anything about anything at all. That's not who I am. I care about kindness. I care about people. Because if I'm not kind, and if I'm doing bad things to get money, it isn't even worth it, right? So your personality is what matters the most. So don't lose your personality trying to make money. So anyways, when you are trying to motivate yourself, make sure that you are not just motivated by the vision of the good things. Like for New Year resolutions, most people are like, I'm gonna have six pack abs this year. That is the vision of the good thing, right? And that is what your motivation is. So when that is your motivation, you will not be actually motivated for a very, very long time. But when you are motivated, like, oh, you are getting stomach ache right now, and you have to do this exercise to never have this stomach ache again. So when you have that pain point, then you are going to be motivated a lot, that you are going to do that exercise every single day, right? You are never going to stop it, because when you stop it, you're going to feel that pain point again. You are going to feel stomach again. So that is the motivation that you should have, and you have to be disciplined, and you will actually be disciplined when you are motivated by your pain points. All right, guys. So those are the things that I want to tell you guys about the goals and motivation, and to be disciplined and such. So yeah, that's all for today, guys. Make sure that you do not lose your personality, and always be spreading positivity. So yeah, see you later.